Join me in welcoming to Bowie State University our county executive.
I am so thrilled to be here this morning with the ladies of Bowie State University, to be surrounded by all of this power and all of the gifts that you possess. And so I'm really thrilled. I was so honored to have been invited here this morning. So I want to thank Dr. Bro so much for the invitation this morning. We are so excited about her and about her leadership. And so I want to thank her for being the visionary that she is. And I am really thrilled to be here. And I'm thrilled about the topic this morning, Unapologetically Me. And the power of her story. I hope I've said that correctly, but I just love the theme of this morning because it is difficult, I think, for any of us to consider our own stories without remembering the sheroes who are throughout our stories. I think every one of us, even those who feature prominently, some of us have sheroes who were behind the scenes, but in every single story, there is a shero somewhere. This has certainly been the case for me. I would literally not be here but for the women I have encountered along my journey. Some of them I was related to, some I just happened to come to know along the way, but there are sheroes throughout my story. So I'm honored to begin by just sharing at least 3 of them with you. The first is my great-grandmother, Maybelle James. She was a super bad woman, born she was born in 1897. She lived in a place called Seneca, South Carolina, with my mother and other family members. And she imparted to me over that time so many pearls of wisdom. She was a quirky woman, kind of like me, and she was a really huge impact. She had a huge impact on my life and was a huge presence for me. Reminds me as well of another woman who didn't have a cape when we think about sheroes, but was certainly a woman of power, and it is my paternal grandmother, whose name was Sarah Daisy. And so she raised my father and his 2 siblings and had her brother, and they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment on Benning Road here in Northeast Washington, for those who know that area. But what is remarkable about Sarah is that she really wanted to elevate her family. She was working cleaning hotel rooms. She was there as a maid in the local hotels, and she wanted to work in the federal government. This was her dream. And so she put on the refrigerator in that 1-bedroom apartment a piece of paper with a keyboard on it. And she was so brilliant that she taught herself to type on the refrigerator in her kitchen, went on to pass the civil servants test, and she retired from the Pentagon, working there as an administrative assistant. Her story is one that empowers me. And then finally, when I think about the women whose shoulders I have stood on, and as I've said again, there are women all around us, whether we know them or not, whose shoulders we stand on every single day, and who created not only the example, but forged a path for us so that we could be here. And I think about my own mother, who I love so much. We are super close. But my mother is a person, when I think about my own evolution, who helped me in a very powerful way, and I wanted to share this story with you. I was looking back on some photos, and this was several years ago, and I looked at a photo of me. It was in the summertime. I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I was standing at Hershey Park, amusement park in the summer, and my sister was standing next to me. She's 2 years older than me, so we really grew up together. And I'm pictured, I had on a turtleneck. It was like July. I had a turtleneck on, I had some shorts on, and I had knee socks, like covering my knees. And I'm standing, you know how little kids do that? I'm smiling really hard, and I look so happy in this photo. And next to me is my sister, who has on a tank top, shorts, and ruffled socks. And so you all know where this is going, right? And so I said to my mother, well, you know, what is going on in this photo? I'm accusing her, why did you put me on that turtleneck? And she said, girl, if only I could tell you. She said, this was just what you wanted. And she said, I came to understand that at some point I would just respect it. And she said to me that, she said, you came here and you have always known exactly what you wanted. And she said, you were this way your whole life. You came here and you knew exactly what you liked and didn't like, and there was nothing we could do about it. She said, you know what, I decided to just keep going. That's me. And I respect her so much as I've had an opportunity to look back on the way that she raised me, to respect me even at that age, and to understand the thing that each of us must understand. And that is that we are equipped early on in life with traits, with whatever we need for our journey. We all are destined for a different journey. And you will be equipped with whatever tools you need, personality traits, flaws, whatever it is, to help you along that journey. And so she knew and respected very early on that where I was headed in my life and the plan that God had set aside for me would require some quirkiness. It also would mean I was a little stubborn. It meant likewise that when things got tough, I had to be able to trust my own instincts, to know exactly what I liked and didn't like and what I believed. But it was important for her as a parent to see that in me early and not to try to suppress it or to try to get it out of me, but instead to recognize, you know what, there is something there. And this is what she's been given. And let's go ahead and develop it in her, to give her the confidence around it and to allow me to stand there smiling broadly in my turtleneck. And so I say to all of you that this is what we should remember, is that we were born with special gifts and special traits. When we talk about our own stories and being powerful, recognize that the power was given to us the first day that we got here. And the true challenge, I believe, of each of our lives, and I have found this even for myself, is to spend the time that it takes to come to know what that is. Yes. I think the beauty of it is that we don't have to wonder whether it's there or not, whether we were given something special. The point of the matter is that it is our job to discover the gift that we have been given, to discover the mission that we've been put on. And I say to you what I say to most women, and it is your job to make sure you do not leave this earth until you have shared it with the rest of us. It is your job to develop it, to find it, to make sure you do everything you can to protect what you've been given, and that you should not leave this earth, no matter what it takes, until you have given it back to the rest of us. And so I end by saying to you, no matter what it looks like, don't give up. We need you so desperately. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you and all that you will contribute. And guess what? We're going to do it together. Together. So thank you so much again for having me today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of this wonderful, wonderful conference. I want to thank Dr. Bro and the rest of the organizers and staff today who have put together such an amazing conference. God bless all of you all, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Dr. Bro to make a presentation on behalf of Bowie State University.
It is indeed my honor to give this presentation, to say thank you to our county executive for being here, for inspiring us all. Wasn't that inspiring? We are honored by your presence, and we stand behind you in your leadership. We wish you all the success, and thank you for everything that you are doing for education. We know that education is the pathway to upward mobility in our society, and we need to fight for that. We need to join our county executive and all of our politicians and elected officials, and let's make sure our children have the education they deserve. On behalf of Bowie State University and our campus community, we thank you for coming out today. We wish you Godspeed on your flight and on the future path that you're on, and please let us know how we can join with you on your race to excellence. Thank you.